Happy Monday. Good morning. It's Yuko. I just started last week doing Instagram on live in English, right? So the reason I start doing, of course, like I have to. Oh, it makes me nervous. Hi, Evan. Hi, Evan. So the reason I start doing, and I have a lot of fear, right? And then, I wanted to have more confidence, right? To have more confidence, I have to beat the fear, right? So means I gotta try something I'm scared of. So that's why I started doing English, because just speaking English is my second language. So speaking English is very, very nervous, right? Because I'm afraid, like, oh, people's gonna think my English is not good, or and I also, I don't, I wanna be a speaker, and I wanna make more people help to be a more confident, right? So that's why I'm just starting to practice on Instagram, like, to have more confidence, right? So I hope by people seeing me doing this live, it's not perfect, but maybe people's gonna, have like a little bit of encouragement from me, but that's okay. So I did it last week in English, right? So this week I started to do a little bit more beyond. There you go, you go. So I asked one of my, I have a Facebook group page. It's called Movement Makers. And there's one of the members, his name is Evan Tinstman. And then I asked, everybody, would you like to be on my live? And then everyone just like, okay, I'll be on live. There's some people, they are willing to help me out. That's so nice. So I'm gonna try, right? So Evan's gonna be on my live. He's already here. Okay, how do I do that? Evan, how do I do that? I gotta do view. There you go. I did good.
It's like he's nice enough to join. I think at 8:30 in the morning. I think it's United States is also holidays too, right? So I am very appreciated his help. Good
Good,
morning, Evan.
good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Thank you for joining my live. Thank
No,
you.
you're welcome. I appreciate you having me on. I think it's fantastic that you are sharing this. I think people are hesitant to be vulnerable to
Yeah.
show other people how we're trying to grow and improve. And everybody has something that they want to do. And if they'd be willing to share it, I think they would get through their process much quicker. But
Mhm.
also doing a service to serve other people, to maybe, like you just said, to encourage them to do the thing that they want to do too. So I'm proud of you for doing it.
Oh, thank you so much, Evan. I really, really appreciate it. It's good to hear from somebody like, oh, I'm very proud of you. Because you know what? Like, it's easy for me to tell the others, just, I'm very proud of you. You're doing a great job. But I tell myself, I'm proud of myself, right? So by you are like, I've seen you for a while and you're always active. You're always like, do the things you want to do, or you're like always willing to have challenge. So by you saying I'm proud of you, it was very honored. Thank you, Evan.
Oh, you're welcome. And it's you mentioned that Evans Movement Maker group. I think this is the best thing that comes out of it is
Hmm.
you get to meet people that you otherwise would have never had the opportunity to meet, and having the conversations just makes it that much better. It just makes. Mhm.
I agree. I agree. And you know what? I always can learn from uh, everybody, like especially movement makers. Like,
Mhm.
it's always because how do I say? Like, we're always trying to find a better way. Like, we have
Correct.
a purpose, right? So
Correct.
like throwing idea at each other and then helping out. And
Right.
then I think that Evan Carmichael, that make him happy too, right? That will make him happy too.
No, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
his way of serving. And, I found Evan when I was in a very low and dark place in my life. Like what you see now is a result of where I was. I
Mm-hmm.
was a professional, I was successful, I had a business, and slowly over a period of time,
Mm-hmm.
I developed an addiction to alcohol and pretty much destroyed most areas of my life. And when I was at my bottom and I started, you may not know this, that's why I'm sharing it,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
and I
Please.
just and I just started looking for information and just trying to find information, and I stumbled across him on YouTube, and that's how I found him, and I started following him, and then he talks about his tour. His first stop was in Pittsburgh, so I went down and just made it my mission just to thank him for being part of my getting better, getting sober, and the stuff that he was putting out there, his content was helping me in a way that he probably never intended it to, because his was all about entrepreneur, which I am, but the deeper message of the people that he was sharing really resonated with me. So that's I'll forever be grateful to him for that. So you talked about the things that I am now doing. I I'm 45 years old, and my problem started when I was, well, it's 3 years since I stopped, 42. So I was about 34 when I started. So I missed a big chunk of my life because I was just not present in mind and drinking and whatever. But before that, I did live a pretty adventurous life. And I feel that
Mm-hmm.
me personally, as a spiritual person, I believe that God spared me for a reason. And I don't take any day for granted anymore. So now, as part of my mission to serve, is I basically promise God, you give me the opportunity to wake up, I'm not going to waste it. But also in that, in my, I try to practice gratitude. But with that, I feel like since I did make it through when so many other people do not, that I have an obligation to help other people, to maybe inspire them in my own way, to serve as a beacon of like, look, I was at a really bad place and I was able to figure out how to get through it. And if it could happen to me, it could happen to you. Addiction does not discriminate. So now I feel like I don't want to waste an opportunity. And there are things that everybody wants to do, but we make excuses not to do them. That's why when you mentioned about me skydiving, when I did it the
Yeah.
first time, it was always on my bucket list. And I did it to celebrate my sobriety. And it served two purposes. One, it was just something I've always wanted to do, but I was kind of afraid to do it and found excuses not to do it. And there's a place 20 minutes away from me, so it's always been there, and I just never did it. So I'm like, well, there are things all around us every day that we could go do that we've wanted to, that we just don't take the time. You don't have to travel to exotic places. You don't have to be rich, any of that. You can find new things to do. The other thing for me, it was really symbolic. Was for me, it was kind of like my past. I left it in that airplane. And when I jumped the first time, it was like that leap into a new chapter of my life. So now each year as I celebrate it, now I use that as an excuse to go do it again, because I'm like an adrenaline junkie. So now I'm hooked on it and I'm taking the class so I can do my first solo jump by myself. But you asked me about the skydiving. That's where it came from. So it was to
Mm.
kind of celebrate. So whenever I talk to somebody like you, anybody who's watching, I make sure that in addition to being an entrepreneur, and I have two daughters, everyday guy, but I've gone through a lot. So if somebody is struggling, whether it's in their business, their personal, or with addiction, a lot of the things that I use to overcome and get through are pretty universal things that other people could apply to their life. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because I was spared, I have an obligation to pay it forward and, try to help anybody who may need it or want it, and just tell them, hey, you can reach out to me and I'll see what I can do.
That's
So,
nice.
so that's what I decided was my way of serving.
Wow. Wow. That's like, like Evan Carmichael always says, like you're a pain, right? Life is a pain experiences like serve like being like life purpose too, right?
Your
Like you
purpose
can,
comes from your pain.
yeah, purpose come
Mhm.
from pain. And you can turn into pain to life purpose. I think that make it really, really, how do I say, very strong.
Right.
And right. And then people feel heat, temperature. I don't know
Hmm.
how do I put it the right way because I'm feeling it by listening what you're saying. I have to super concentrate what you're saying too. I gotta really pay attention, like word by word, right?
Okay.
And then I forgot to blink it. my eyes in tears. Sorry. And also your story is awesome too.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I think it's like people, most people, they are afraid of like saying what are you going through the pain too, right? So by listening, people hearing your story, like your honest story, and people feel it. And then because people feel the heat, the
Right.
your temperatures, like
Right.
warm, I don't know I don't know what Evan Tinsman temperature is like. I don't know, like 100 degrees.
Well, I'll call it a fire, and hopefully it will
Fire,
spread to
yeah.
hopefully it spreads to other people.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
the
Yeah.
absolute hardest thing to do
Yep.
with
Yep.
anything, and not just
Yeah.
addiction, with any problem, is to admit that you need help, to admit that
Yes.
maybe you have
Yes.
a problem, because we as humans tend to get embarrassed.
Yes.
We fear judgment
Yep.
of other people.
Yeah.
And for probably the first 6 months after I
Hmm.
quit and I was
Hmm.
getting healthy,
Yeah.
and I developed an insane new routine in the morning, and I have a 3 hour routine that people think I'm crazy for. I get up at 3:30, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But I have to do that to prepare my mind for the day. That's what works for me.
Still,
Um,
you get up still 3 o'clock,
three,
3:30.
like I was up at quarter to four this morning, but like I meditate for half an hour, I stretch, I journal every day and every night. It kind of helps just prep my mind. I run,
Yep.
exercise, and
Yep.
maybe I'll listen to something. Not within the first hour. I don't touch my phone for the first hour.
That's great.
Maybe
That's great.
listen to something motivational or inspiring or
Yeah.
spiritual, and that helps because my addiction came from stress, owning a
Yep.
business, and so I still have stress every day like everybody does. So I have to
Hmm.
find ways to prep my mind for the day. So when the
Yep.
stress comes, I can handle it better. And then I develop new ways when I'm sitting here in my office,
Yeah.
I have other things that are healthy to go do.
Yeah.
But during the first 6 months, I was trying to talk a little, be different, but I still was keeping it quiet what I was dealing with. And I had that internal conflict that I was trying to keep a secret, but
Okay.
I felt like I was a phony because I was trying to get to be something that I wasn't. Because what I was an alcoholic that no longer drinks, who owns a business, is trying to help people. I was trying to go motivational of like, here, let me help you get your life back. Let me help you get your business back on track. But I didn't want to share why I was doing it. So one day I just decided, I turned my camera around, I made a video and I put it out there and I said, look, I ruined my life through addiction. I got the help that I needed. I apologized to a lot of people. And if you're going to judge me or hold it against me, I don't need you in my life. And I did lose some relationships, but
Yeah.
it was very liberating, which is, it made me feel free,
Hmm. Hmm.
to get that weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now moving forward, it's like, hey, this is who I am as a person. This is what I'm trying to do. You either like me or you don't.
Yeah.
So everybody has that. So even you might have that fear of people judging you
Oh,
because
very
maybe
much.
you can't perfectly, put a sentence together or the right, but
Yeah.
every day you get better.
Yeah. Yep. I understand. Yeah. Like I have I lived here for 25 years in Canada,
Hmm.
and then I always have a mistake speaking English. Like I speak wrong English, right? And then I was super embarrassed. Like I live here for 25 years. I'm supposed to speak perfect English, but I, I don't speak perfect English. So I just like, hey, like I don't pretend. I'm not going to pretend I speak good
Right.
English.
Right.
So why do I just put it out there? And also, I am not perfect. I think maybe some of my friends, they see me like I'm always like keep it going girl, like it just try, like
Hmm.
happy. But actually, I scared a lot of things, right?
Hmm.
I'm afraid of a lot of things. And then I don't have like confidence much. So like, but I was still like, I so resonate your story because I just like, I'll be always telling everybody, like, I want to just make you guys confidence, it's nice, confidence is nice. And then I've watched all Evan Carmichael's Everyday Confidence, and then I was just trying to give a confidence. But I realized that I don't have. I trying to give everybody what I don't have,
I, I,
right?
I disagree with you
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah.
confidence is nothing more than trying something new, knowing that you could fail. And that's what you're doing. So to
Yeah.
say that you don't have confidence, I would disagree. I think you do have confidence and you don't realize it for the simple fact that you're willing to put yourself out there and you're
Yeah.
willing to fail and you will accept that and you're
Hmm.
willing to let other people see where you're vulnerable or where your flaws are and knowing that they could judge you, well, that takes confidence.
Oh, very much. Yeah.
So I think you're looking at it wrong. I mean, that's courage and confidence. You know, do you believe the more you do this, your English will get better?
I do.
Then that is confidence. You're confident that this process is helping you. You're confident
Mm,
that talking to new people all the time will help you get better.
mm,
That is confidence. The
mm.
courage is getting yourself ready and hitting the live button. That's the courage. But the process that you're doing shows that you are confident.
Mm.
So confident is nothing more than being willing to try something new, knowing that you could fail. And that's where courage mixes in too. So I think you're selling yourself short to say that you don't have confidence because you do.
Mhm. Mm. Oh, thank you. I really like the way you put the confidence things for me too. Yeah. I that's I like it.
I think we as
I really
humans,
like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we as humans by nature look
Yeah.
for all the reasons why we should not do something because it's easier to not try.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we
Yep.
inherently we want to protect ourselves. So our biggest fear
Hmm.
is not failing. I believe our biggest fear is failing in front of other people
Oh, that's scary. Yes. Yes.
because now everybody can see your weaknesses. We put forth images that we want other people that we think we want people to perceive us as,
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
really what people want to see is the real Yuko, the real Evan. Because if somebody is perfect, or we all want to appear as perfect, but we don't follow perfect people because that makes it feel like, well, we'll never get to that level.
Hmm.
And if we were to watch somebody that we saw as perfect, I believe that would make us feel worse because we're thinking, well, I don't have that talent, I don't have that skill, I don't live in their house, I don't have their money, I'm never going to get there. So I think that makes us worse.
Yeah.
So, you know, we learn more from doing things like this. I don't know you, you don't know me, you have your challenges, I have my challenges, but I'm confident, just as you're confident, that, hey, this helps me because the more I talk about my problem and my struggle, well, now it forces me to hold myself to a higher standard because now
Hmm.
I don't know who's watching this and sees my story, that how I overcame. Well, the last thing I want to do is disappoint them and show that I went back to my old ways. So that's courage, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
So you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
it, you have it. So I think you should. I think you should change what you say. I think you should stop saying that. I think you should start saying, I am confident because I have courage.
Okay,
So,
let me just phrase it. Okay. I am confident. I am confident because I have courage,
correct.
right? Okay, so that's gonna be my mantra.
There you go.
Yeah,
As long
it's
as you're willing
beautiful.
to as long as you're willing to do this, you will
Yeah,
continue to get better. It takes courage to hits courage to hit live,
yeah,
and the confidence is knowing that you will continue to get better.
yeah. Oh yeah, you know what? It takes a courage to hit like button, like
Hmm.
or it courage to post some stuff on Instagram
Hmm.
or Facebook, like showing what I think. It's easy. Okay, it's easy to post what I cook for dinner because I
Hmm.
love cooking,
Right.
or what's my family, my dog. It's easier, right?
Right.
But in my mind, it's just like, I like posting these ones, but this is not what I really, really want to post. But if I think what I think, like if I post whatever, if I let it out, if I really want to do it, I'm afraid friends and families gonna judge me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like, no, she starts saying, is she crazy? She starts saying like confident and courage and do it. And like, that's not Yuko. So I have a fear of judgment too, right? So I just like, okay, I have a fear of judgment and post it. Now
Right.
I started to think I have a fear of like judgment, but do it live. I have a fear of judgment. Okay, like I asked you guys. There was a lot of courage today. I asked movement makers. I'm doing IG live. Anybody wants to join? That even if it was in like comfortable circle, right? Because everybody's helping out each other, movement makers.
Mm-hmm.
But still, for me to have a little bit more, have encouragement to post it.
Right.
But after that, like a couple people just like, sure, I do it. I'll do it. Like the comments coming up, I just like, that's really nice.
That's because in the
Yeah,
beginning I said everybody has it. And most of the people that will judge and criticize you
yeah,
are the people that are mad at themselves because they haven't figured out a way to do that thing that they want to do. So sometimes the easiest way to make yourself feel better
hmm
is to make somebody else feel worse about themselves. So, maybe you're here and the people that you fear judgment from are down here.
hmm
Well, it's easier for them to try to bring you down to their level than for them to try to get up to your level.
yeah.
So
That's
the more you keep doing, the people that might be judging or criticizing you today are going to be following and admiring you tomorrow, because now all of a sudden you're going to show that, hey, I made a decision that I want to make some changes or I want to make some improvements in my life, and you took the action and didn't care what they said. So then when they start to see your life change and your life improve, well, now they have a choice to make.
hmm
Well,
hmm
I'm criticizing somebody who is getting what they want in life, and I'm stuck back here. So they either have to accept where they're at, or you might inspire them to try to get better themselves.
yeah, yep,
So even the people that criticize you, what's the worst thing? Like, what truly is going to happen to you if somebody says, Yuko, you're crazy. Why are you doing this? What's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? Really? Is it going to stop you from getting better? Is it going to stop you from having fun? No. Is it going to stop you, for having goals and wanting to improve? So really, what is somebody else's words or thoughts going to do that's going to hurt you? Nothing.
yeah. That's so true. That's so
Right.
true. Yeah, yeah. It's like I really understand what you get. Like sometimes I worry about people things, but I ask myself when I'm in a quiet moment. You know what? That's they're gonna change how I want to do, how I feel. No, they're not gonna, because only person change is me, right?
Right.
I can change myself. I can keep myself going. Nobody else,
Right.
right? Nobody else can change me. I always fall into same answer,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why I think I get tired of listening my excuse, I think. Like fear of like like how do I say like excuse. So I just like I will do it and see how I
Mm-hmm.
go next.
Right.
Yeah.
It's even the best athletes
hmm
talk about how they still get nervous. Like, I still get nervous, in business when I'm trying to do something. I
Yeah.
still get nervous. If you don't get nervous, that means you don't care. So
hmm
when you feel nervous, well, that means you want to do a good job. When you don't care, you're not nervous. I think that's where a problem. So,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. It takes the same amount of energy to be scared as it does to be excited. It's the same energy. It's just
hmm
where do you channel your mind to? So instead of thinking, what if I fail? Start
Yep.
thinking, but what if I don't? What if I do succeed?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, 20 years down the road, would you rather say, you know what, I tried and it didn't work? Or I didn't try and I wonder if it would have worked?
Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, yeah.
So would you rather try and know that you could not do something instead of getting older, looking back saying, I wonder if I could have succeeded if I tried?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what I would recommend to you,
Mm-hmm.
how to start thinking. Not I don't have confidence or I can't do this. Look, I'm 45 years old. I live in the United States. English is my first language, and
Yep.
it's not perfect. None of ours is.
For
So
me, for me is you speak perfect English. And
tr-
then like
trust me, it's not.
My friend Angela, right? I'm sure she's here. She was just like, Yuko, your English is perfect. I was
Yeah,
just like, really? And I don't speak perfect English. That's what she said. Like,
yeah.
oh, you know. And then it's all right. My first language is actually Japanese.
Hmm.
And then I don't speak perfect Japanese at all,
And you never
right?
will.
Never will. You're right. You're right.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, there was nothing that you said that I could not understand.
Thank
So,
you.
I mean,
Thank you.
you embrace it. You know, you keep doing it every day. You keep practicing. It's no different than me getting up and going through my morning routine to make sure that I stay sober and don't drink. It's the same thing I do every day to make sure my business is growing and making my relationships better. And guess what? Some days I fail. Some days I get lazy and I don't work as much as I
Yep.
should. Or
Yep.
some days I say the wrong things to people. So not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day is going to be productive. Not every day is going to, help us grow or get us closer to our goals.
Hmm.
But, even the best athletes miss more than they make.
Yeah. Yep.
Baseball,
Yep.
they strike out more than they hit.
Hmm.
But you have to keep swinging. You
Yeah.
have to keep trying. The more you try, the more you'll succeed. If you only try one new thing a month over a year, you try 12, well, and you fail 10 out of 12, well, now you feel like you can't do it. But now you
Hmm.
try 12 times a month, and
Hmm.
that's 144 times a year. Well, maybe you succeed 20. Now those 20 things added up make a huge difference.
Right.
So you doing these all the time, posting every day, like Evan says, and I'm guilty. I just went through almost a month that I wasn't posting much at all because with everything going on, my business, and I just had a lot of things. But he's right. I should have been posting and sharing what I was dealing with and the struggles. And for me, it was like I couldn't find time. So I said, I'm sure I could have found 15, 20 minutes each day. And I didn't. So I learned a lesson from that.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
So you just keep moving forward every day. You just keep trying every day.
Even if
And
even if like the day we find it like, oh, I don't know, I can do good things today. We're like not perfect. Like still keep posting it,
right,
showing it, right?
exactly. And you
And
keep
that
talking.
takes a courage. That takes a courage because when I'm feeling low, I don't feel like posting,
And that's when
right? Because
that's when we need to do it the most.
yeah,
That's when you need
that's
to do it the most.
that's challenge,
Hmm.
right? Because I think everybody, not everybody, lots of people they wanted to show a sunny, bright side, especially
Right,
social media,
right.
right?
No,
But
everybody does it, and you can see through the people that are doing that.
oh yeah, oh I know what you mean, very much.
So I, I think that is the downside to social media is it's very easy to get caught in that trap of trying to compare yourself to other people
Hmm.
and other people's lifestyle and what,
Hmm.
maybe the house they bought or the car they bought or the trip they're taking. And you don't even know if it's real or not. And then
Yeah.
we sit there and think like, well, I should have what they have and I don't, which means I'm not as good as them. And none of that is true. So I personally do not spend a lot of time looking at social media, with
Hmm.
exception to like the people that I connect with, like through our groups and stuff like that, and certain people like Evan and people that do that stuff that I do follow. But I don't spend a lot of time looking at people's personal stuff because their personal lives aren't doing anything to help me get to my goals.
Hmm. That's
So if
true.
it's not helping me grow and develop, I don't really spend time
Hmm. Hmm.
doing it or looking at it. So I would recommend you do the same for a while.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
I
focus on yourself and maybe write out a schedule, a plan on this day. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a live on this day. I'm gonna post this on this day, and then you just get into the routine of doing it, like same time every day or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you can do
Mm-hmm.
with your own business, and soon it just becomes a habit.
Yeah. That's gonna be my challenge because I it's hard for me to set routine right now at this moment and time management,
Hmm.
right? So that's what I have to focus. Like that's why I just started doing 8:30 live. Like, I it's better just for me to set the schedule, time, just stick with it, Otherwise I just go everywhere. My
Right,
attention goes 3,000 ways,
right. Well,
right? And nothing gets done.
right. Well, I would say don't look at it as managing time, because I don't believe that we can actually manage time, because time is going to happen regardless.
Oh yeah.
Whether you
Yeah.
do anything or not, time is going to keep going. Maybe look at it more as, how am I going to use the time that I have?
Mm,
Hey,
I like that.
I have 15 minutes between customers or appointments.
Yep.
In these 15 minutes, I'm going to do a quick post,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going to write down some topics I want to do in a live. So don't look at it as managing time, because that means you're trying to control something that you cannot control.
Mm-hmm.
What you can control is what you do with the time that you have.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a great point.
Right, because
Because, yeah, I like that. I like that.
mhm,
That's gonna be another my mantra.
yeah,
I like
like
that. Yeah.
use your
Yeah.
time. Don't try to manage your time.
Yeah. That's why so many years, I have a struggle. Like, you know, I can't manage my time. How do I do it? I'm on the loop. I'll be on
Right,
the loop, right?
right. Well, one of the things that I picked up from somebody that I do follow is, each day I make a list of 5 things that I have to do.
Okay.
And it's not everyday things. It's not like, oh, I have to go to the grocery store. Oh, I have to go run, because I just do those things.
Okay.
So the way I look at it is, here's the 5 things I have to get done today. And
Okay.
if I get these things done by 11 o'clock, the rest of the day is free. Now, I get it with my business. I have customers and clients, but if I don't, then I'll leave and go do something I want to do.
Hmm.
But there's days that it might take me 10 hours to do those 5 things, but I don't stop until those 5 things are done. And then I know what those 5 things are going to be. I write them down for the next day, so that when I do come in and sit at my desk, I know exactly what I have to do, and I start. So I personally believe one of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to do too much too
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
To do 2, 3, 5 things consistent every day is going to give you 10 to 20 things accomplished each week, as opposed to trying to do 40 things and not finishing any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Multitask, I thought multitask is a great thing. That was a great thing, but it's like, no,
No. It's complete one thing at a time and move on. I'm guilty. I used to try to multitask. I don't believe anybody can multitask, because as humans, you need to focus and concentrate on what you're doing
yeah,
and get it done and move on. Because the
yeah,
multitask, go back and forth, you're just taking twice as long. Whereas the risk is not doing it correctly.
that's correct.
If you're trying to do 2 things at the same time, it's probably going to take you twice as long as if you just
Yeah.
did one at a time,
Hmm.
but you risk making a mistake. So doing
Hmm.
things one at a time ensures you will do it correct.
Yeah,
So that's hard, though, because we want to be high performers. We want to get a lot done. So we think the more we do, the more we're going to accomplish. When really, when you look at people that are successful, even how Evan, structures his day, this day I do
hmm,
this day I do this, and whatever fits in that, however he uses that time,
hmm,
well, he has a very successful business. And
hmm.
that's a good example of how doing one thing at a time and concentrating on it will
Yeah,
get you much further.
yeah. Wow, that's gonna be my training.
So, but yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
I think you're doing really good. I
Oh,
encourage
thank
you
you,
to
Evan.
keep doing it. Anytime you want or need somebody, always reach out. I'd be more than happy, because it helps me just as much. It truly does.
Oh,
Because
thank you.
talking to you makes me think about some things that maybe I have forgotten or don't think a lot about anymore, or so it helps to re-energize me as well.
Really? Oh, I'm
Oh,
glad. So I'm helping you out too,
well, yeah, absolutely,
kind of
because
some way. Thank
it,
you.
yeah, it
That's
gets
nice.
me, yeah, it helps me talk about some things that maybe I haven't talked about for a while, or to share it, and to share my story makes me feel good, which makes me more productive. So you give me the opportunity to do what I want, which is to share. Because had I not talked to you today, I may not run into anybody else to talk to them about it. So I
Mhm.
feel my best when I can share my story in hopes
Yeah,
that I might be able to help somebody.
yeah.
And otherwise, today I may not have the opportunity to help somebody. So, yes, just equally, you
Ah,
help me.
wow, that's beautiful. You put it really beautifully,
Good,
right? And
good.
I'm super happy you had a time for me today, though.
Absolutely. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah,
So,
it's like, oh, it's a little bit after 9 o'clock,
yeah, that's
but
okay. Go ahead. Yeah,
thank you.
you're
Thank you.
you're
Thank
beyond
you.
you're beyond your half hour. You use your
Yeah.
time for a half an hour. So let's wrap up and go do
Yeah.
what you're going to do next, and I'll do the same. And remember, use your time. Don't
Yep.
manage your time.
That's right. That's
Okay?
gonna be my mantra.
There
I'll
you
do
go.
that.
All right. Well,
Okay.
you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Evan. You
All righty.
too.
All right.
And yeah, take care. All
All
right.
right.
See you in Movement Makers.
Very good. All
Thank
right.
you. All
Uh-huh.
right.
Bye.
Bye.